I've been talking to a friend today while I was cleaning the bookshelves. I showed her, for some reason, as a video, my favorite book series. Which, by the way, she already knew that it was my favorite book series. But I also wanted to share with YouTube, I guess, that book series, like how much I love it. But first, we gotta see how it started. So in 2006, I was in a 12-year-old that was really, like, we're 12, 13 years old, that I got very impressed by pretty much anything. And in 2006, this movie came out. Alex Rider. I fell in love with it. No idea why. I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with music. I fell in love with everything in the movie. In December, maybe around New Year of 2006, I'm hanging out with a friend. And for what's going to be seen in this video, I blame her for this. I blame my friend Avery. Because she's the reason why I'm obsessed with this. So, we're hanging out. And I mentioned that I enjoyed this movie. And she's like, did you know it's a book series? Like, it's a book series, right? And I was like, wait, it's a book series? And she's like, yeah, I've read the first 2 books. I was shook. That's when it started. I borrowed the books from the library. I read them all, the ones that were out at the time, in like 3 years, like the ones that were out. And I didn't read a lot back then, as much as I read now, because I have like dyslexia, so it was harder for me to read at the time. But that series, I fell in love with it. And not only is this my favorite series ever, but it's also the series that got me into reading in English. Because I'm French, and it's the first book series that I read in English. But first, before I show all the different copies and all of that book series that I have, I need to share this. This is a 3D printed bookmark that my friend Avery made. With basically the logo of the Walker Books edition. So the British copy. She made these bookmarks 3D printed from an image that she had in a computer since, 2006, 2007. So I just wanted to shout out to her. And also there's a scorpion at the end because scorpions remind me of that book series in general, because I'll go into details with scorpions later. But yeah, she made this one. This is the second one that she made, actually. But she made another one that is here in my favorite book in the series. She made this one that is all white. She didn't like how it turned out, so she made another one. So, but yeah, and I added the name of the main character and the name of my favorite character. So, because they're both in this one. Now, I'll go into details from all the editions that I have and, like, the series that I have. Like, all the books that I own from this series. And if I like them or not. Because, not necessarily in the sense that if I like the story, or, I mean, I hate, like, I liked, mostly, like, I loved every single book in the series. But what I mean is the edition. If I like the edition or not. Because there's editions that are ugly. So, this is part of the series that I own. And there's more here. And then I got more books by Anthony Horowitz. Let's start with these ones. So, like I said, when I first got into this series, I was reading them from my local library, bookstore. Yeah, library. And I wasn't, like, going to buy any of the books. But over time, I discovered a website where you can buy your book for cheap. And I knew that I was going to reread this book series all the time. And at the time, I also had not realized that on this website, you could also check if you wanted a British or an American edition. So, difference between a British edition and the American one. Also, I will come back to this. The title was not like this. I'll explain it later. So, I got the American edition. Canadian American one. It's like very floppy, but it's also so thin that you can like rip out a page and, well, see, I actually did rip one page without wanting to. They're very flimsy. And also these covers, like, there's too much going on or too much less. There's either too much things going on them or nothing enough. Then you get very confused. Especially if you like to like look at a book cover and be like, huh, this sounds interesting. So this is the first book that I have bought in this edition. I'm like, I don't really like this edition because, first of all, if you're reading a book, sometimes you like when it's the real, like the source material is from the language that it's actually written in. And since I'm Canadian, we do not use the metric system that the Americans use. So when you say things in like miles or I'm very confused, I live in kilometers, so I got a bit confused with like these things in the English, in the American version, but otherwise the inside's like the same, so I don't mind, but I don't like these covers. The back are cool, but I don't like the front. Too much going on. So this is the first one that I got. I got most of the series in the same edition. Like, for example, here I got Scorpia, which is book 5 in the series. This is another example of what's going on. I don't understand. Because, okay, you have the main character. He seems to be in some kind of green water. I mean, I know where this one takes place. I know it's in Venice. I know what this represents. But for a reader that hasn't read them, you're kind of confused. To quote my friend, one of my friends, when I showed him this cover, he was like, what's going on this? And I was like, well, you've read book 5. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, well, it's that one scene. And he's like, really? So he got very confused. But on that website, I still got to, anyways, got some of this book. Pretty much all the books that were out in time in this edition. And like, example of this one, that's something happens, you're not sure what's going on. Like, same with this one. And these copies are so flimsy that they get very damaged very easily. But I do like this one. The cover, again, makes no sense, but this copy, even though it's like an American copy that I don't really like, I would save this one in a fire. No questions asked. I would go back for it no matter what. You know what I mean. It's crazy, I would not really do this, but this book, I would protect with my life. Because I got it for very cheap on that website. But it's signed. And not only is it signed, it's not one of those like fake signatures. It's actually ballpoint pen. And you can't really see, but it actually, well, went through the other page. Like, that's how flimsy it is. Like, the author did not, like, he didn't put that much pressure on it. But, like, you can kind of see it. You can't really, yeah, you can kind of see it. I don't know if you can, but, yeah. It's signed, which I did not expect. And this is another thing I didn't see on the website, that it was signed. But if I hadn't bought this American edition, would I have gotten a signed copy? No. But yeah, these are the ones that I had bought back then. And obviously, there's more that I own that seems to have disappeared. Oh no, it's here. Okay. This is my copy of book 4. The one that I got on a trip in Maine. And because it was my favorite one in the series, I had already read it. I was like, why not buy it and reread it again? But this is the American one as well, so it's different. And then this cover, what's going on? Like, what? If you haven't read the book, you would just think it's a space thing, maybe, or a missile. Yeah. Which it is, but at the same time. So yeah, I don't really like this cover either, but I bought it for very cheap in a store, and this is the copy that I read the most, because first one I got. And obviously, because I love that book series, I went to a store, found this one. I had to beg my mom for it, because at the time I didn't really have a job and like allowance, or maybe my allowance was late. I don't really know. I guess it was late. No, I didn't have an allowance back then. Well, my parents would give me money, but I didn't have I didn't have my own money at the time to buy whatever I wanted. But when I saw this one, book 9, in the bookshelf, I was like, OMG. Another Alex Rider book on the shelves. I need it. So I begged my mom. And she let me buy it. And this is the edition that I grew up with. I would not mind having this edition and in my hands, because this is the edition that I read when I was reading them for the first time. And yeah, this is the first French one that I bought. I annotated it, some parts in there, like facts that I thought was interesting and all of that. And also, this scorpion is this one. My friend Avery asked me to give her the image. Not the image, but like, she wanted it to be accurate, so she asked for this. So this is the one. The second one that I bought myself, actually, and in French. Because in the area where I lived, I didn't really find English books. Or maybe I didn't look. I didn't read that much in English at the time. So, yeah, I got that one. But then, over the years, I kind of, started to, collect books. And then I went to Indigo, which for Americans, if you're here, Barnes & Noble, it's, basically the same thing. These two, Point Blank and Skeleton Key, they were 2 for $10. And they were the British edition. At the time, I had one copy, I think, of the American edition I didn't like. So I was like, I want these books in this edition. And they didn't, oh no, they didn't have the first one. So that's why I only got these two. So I got them in the British edition, which to me are 100 times better. You can kind of see what's going on. Okay, scuba diving, shark, snowboarding. We can't really see what it's snowboarding on, which if you read the book, you know it's an ironing board. But yeah, I mean, I like these. I like the logo. I like everything from these books. And then when you put them together, they make out Alex Rider, which I think is really cool. And these I ended up buying a few years ago. And then, okay, yeah, not those. Alright. And then the last book that I bought full price in that series, again, American edition, because for some reason, we didn't have the British one. This one. Russian Roulette, the story of an assassin. if you're a friend of mine and you've seen this, you see this book, by the way, don't be alarmed. It's the backstory of my favorite character, and you understand why he's doing this job. I love this. And for some reason, it kind of made me made me discover a country that I did not think I was gonna like. Obviously, I like them a little less, what's going on now. But this is my favorite book in the series. And it's the last time that I bought a book from that series full price. And yeah, it's like my favorite book. I read it so many times. I annotated it, but I have little dog-eared pages that I really like with little facts and things like that. So, yeah. And more time has gone by. I moved. I didn't think I was gonna buy more copies of this book, but I went on the website, the same website where I bought the American version, and I saw these other books, and I was like, I need to get them. I'm not usually like those people that are like, oh, I have multiple copies of my favorite book. Turns out I do. I didn't understand them until I saw these. And then here I got Eagle Strike. But the British edition, which, come on, is like a million times more pretty than this one. Like, come on. I'm not 100% sure what's going on this one, though, to be honest. Yeah. I think I do, but I'm not entirely sure, which is the only one that I think the cover is kind of, yeah. And then see, still, it has the X for Alex on it. So I kind of want to have, honestly, all the books in the Walker Book Edition in paperback, because it's the only ones that have the name like that. And eventually, I did discover that they came out with more books, again, in the series. This one, I think, came out in 2019. 2017, actually. And I discovered they came out with more books, and since these books were my favorites since, well, 2006 or 2007, I couldn't stop reading the series. And in my local bookstore, they had this one in hardcover. The only inconvenient with these hardcovers, again, it's the Walker Book Edition. They're pretty. But there's one thing that is horrible with these books. The titles. They were in this shiny gold. Okay, this one, for example. Secret Weapon. You see it's like a shiny gold. But as you read them, your hand is here. And the title erased. Never Say Die. Entire title was gone. So I had gold nail polish. So I redid the title. I know it's not pretty. I don't care. It's my personal book. So, but yeah. Beautiful book. Beautiful edition. The spines are weird though. This one's not too bad, but one other book in a series is it's bad. But yeah, these books were really good, and these are my. Again, I love this edition. And you understand what's going on. If you look at the cover, and you read the book, you know what's going on. And then here, I got Secret Weapon, which is another book in the series. I do not know which one that is. I mean, there's like 20 books in the series now, pretty much. But again, you can see he's pushing people off boats. And it's in London, because Big Ben. So, yeah, this one was also really good. And then I got Nightshade, which this one came in 2019, I think. I have like a very vivid memory of this one. 2020! Wow. Wait. Okay, that doesn't feel that long. I mean, it feels longer than this. But Nightshade. Again, title erased. And like, I like it, but that's fine. Like, come on. I don't know what happened. The spine broke pretty much the first time I read this book. Again, British edition made me discover things, this one, made me discover things that British people say, that Canadian people say, and also that made me realize why America, like why Americans, why you guys say that. I'm not gonna say what it is because it's like strange to me, but anyway, you guys mention, like American people mention a certain food in a certain way, and Canadian and British use this other word for it, which makes more sense to me. But yeah, I got this one of Nightshade. And then more time passes. Again, go back on this website and I discover that there's graphic novels. I didn't know about the existence I knew of the existence of the graphic novels. Because when you read one of these, you have these at the back, which is a page dedicated to graphic novels. And this one is a page from Eagle Strike, book 4 in a series. And I was like, if I want to have a graphic novel of the Alex Rider series, I want graphic novel of Eagle Strike. Because my favorite character's in it. So, on that website, the first 6 graphic novels for like, the retail price, I think it was like $75 or maybe higher, I don't remember, but I got them for like $50 on that website. The website's like either books that are damaged, been like too many of them were in stock, and they put them there. So I guess these were too much stock, because these are also the Walker Book Edition series. So like, they're the British ones. And I read them. I love them. The graphic novels. Speaking of this, Avery, I keep forgetting to bring you these. I should, which I'll bring them to you when next time I see you. One book just fell. So, yeah. Graphic novels. And then just last year, I think, unless it was the beginning of the year, because I'm confused in my years. No. Wait, 2 years ago? This came out in 2023. Okay. This one came out in 2023. It was a guy on YouTube that does little videos that I saw him talk about this one. And I didn't even know the existence of this. I'm usually like on top of every single detail when it comes to this book series. Or the TV show, by the way. But lately I've been like off the social media for those things. So I don't see any stuff concerning it. But yeah, I immediately, it was like 11 p.m. I ordered it from a bookstore because, come on. Another book in my favorite series, I couldn't let it pass. Obviously, this one's not my favorite one in the series because I feel like some of the characters are a bit out of, the main character's a bit out of character, but hey, you grew up. Like, this entire series takes place in 1 year. So, like, he's 16 in this one. So, yeah, I was like, okay, finally you aged up, but yeah, it wasn't the best, but I did still enjoy it. And it was short, which, yeah. But then, because that was, like, my favorite series, I decided to start, like, doing like everyone else who likes books, and I decided to start buying copies of the book that I could find online. I'll just take a sip of slushy. So, I did like what everyone, not everyone would do, but a lot of people do. Which is a perfect time because I have some other friends that did want to read the books because they have watched the TV show. So, I found this French copy of Stormbreaker. which this is also the first edition that I read, the fourth book in. I remember throwing it across the room because my favorite character had died. But yeah, Stormbreaker in the French version, which also used the logo from Walker Books, which I like. Ooh, these covers are cool. And I guess also this is the same edition that I have made the Eagle Strike one from that edition I have, which I appreciate a little more to have this edition that is similar. And then here I got also the French version of Point Blank. Again, you kind of understand what's going on. A helicopter, okay. This one I couldn't tell you what it is. A storm over a submarine? What? I know what this means, but it does not make sense when you look at the book. Well, yeah, this one, again, same edition as this one, but I think this one's like a special edition. I don't really know. But yeah, I got this one again for very cheap. I paid... The price is wrong. Okay. Usually the website where I buy these, they're very cheap. But the price is odd. Like, it says $12, but I didn't pay $12 for this. This one, I paid $3. And then this one, I paid $4. Which is Scorpia, which is book 5 in the series. Again, you can kind of see Scorpion, Venice. You know, it takes place in Venice. Because also, Scorpion, because the people, Scorpia, reason why I like scorpions. So, yeah. And then, recently, I went again on this, online website, and I got this one. Which is another copy of Point Blank. But this time, it's the one with the movie, the TV show cover. So it's Otto, whatever his name is. I completely forgot his name. I'm butchering it. Trying to see if his name is somewhere. Which I doubt. But anyway, the guy who plays Alex on the cover. And again, this is Walker Book Edition. So I had to have a copy. Because I just love these books. I'm obsessed. But because I also love Anthony Horowitz, since he became my favorite author, I also have these books. Magpie Murders, the first book in his series. I don't even know if it has a title series, but I think it's Magpie Murders, I don't know. And Forever and a Day, which is a James Bond book. Again, I had seen this one in the bookstore. Brand new. This one is used. I had to have it. And when I saw it used, I got it. But yeah. Like, I'm obsessed with his books. Like, come on. It's maybe excessive at this point. But I guess you can kind of see how much I love the series. I can't really explain how much I love it. And I don't know what the series has that made me hooked that much. I mean, I hate the main character. Like, I can't stand him. Every 2 seconds, I want to punch him. Like, come on. But I don't know. It's the adventure, I guess. Like, the story and everything. Like, obviously my second favorite character doesn't appear until, like, book 5. But I really enjoy these books. And, yeah, I just had to, like, share it. And, again, Avery, that's your fault. I blame you for being obsessed with these books. And I think you're also tired of hearing me say this, but yeah. I just had to share it. If I have to do like a ranking of all the favorite books, I will do this because why not? So far it's just like rambling me. I'm just rambling, but I wanted to. I have to give out a favorite copy. I should do like favorite pretty cover, right? Also, but least favorite cover, but my favorite book, Eagle Strike. I kind of like this one, how it looks. But my all-time favorite one in the series, this one. I don't really like the cover, prefer the British cover, obviously. I don't have a copy of the British cover. Almost bought it. But yeah, favorite book in the series. This one is like 100 on 10. Yeah. And I like this cover. I don't know why. I like this one. It's pretty. This one, again, I said I was confused. What's going on? This one is a bit boring. This one is kind of cool cover. I like this cover. Yeah. Which is like the most unrealistic thing going on in this book. He's on a train. No, he's on a school bus. On a train track. Throwing a canister of gasoline. In the place where the steam or smoke of the train would go. So he manages to blow up the train. Very unrealistic. But I like how this cover looks. And this book was actually enjoyable, because it's like, it's the one that kind of like, it's the book that came out after this one. And in this one, there's a character that ends up getting unalived. But in this one, you discover the reason why she's unalived, and if she really is or not. And like, the whole point is you see how the character in this one, the main character Alex, is trying to like navigate his new life, living in the US with her friends and family. And honestly, if I was that family, I would have left him in the UK and left him to just deal with his problems. Because the number of times that Alex almost got that family killed, I mean, okay. But yeah, this book was really enjoyable. All the books in this series were enjoyable. This is only part of them. But yeah, all these books were good. Every single one of them. I did really enjoy one of the, I think it's in Secret Weapon. Yeah, okay, they all went to the floor. Where is this book? Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Yeah, too many of these books. That's what it means. Yeah, Secret Weapon. Yeah. Secret Weapon is like short stories of like things going on in between things. So I really like that. Christmas at Gunpoint. That's my favorite one. Yeah.